Hi, and welcome everyone at the Global AI Bootcamp behind the scenes, where we give you some insights in the Global AI Bootcamp 2022. During these episodes, we will connect with organizers around the globe to talk about their bootcamp in their location. And on top of that, we also invited some program managers from Microsoft that will learn you something new about the cool AI services that they are building. But before we start, my name is Sjoukje.
And my name is Sami. And today we're going to connect with our community leaders down under, with Anupama and Akansha in Seattle and in Australia and New Zealand. But to kick off, we'll connect with Sabrina, a program manager at Microsoft, all the way in Seattle. Hi, Sabrina. And we're having a little technical. There she is. We have no sound yet. Just give it a second. It's our first episode, so technical issues can happen. Yes, we can hear you loud. How are you, Sabrina?
I'm doing well. What time is it in the time zone that you're in?
For us, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, so quite early.
That is very early. Oh my goodness.
Exactly. Sabrina, please introduce yourself to the community. Who are you? What do you do at Microsoft?
Sounds good. So hello everybody. My name is Sabrina Smai. I am a PM in the AI frameworks team, and I primarily work on open source projects like PyTorch as well as I actually used to be an MVP a few years back. Used to be really good community. Yeah, so
Sabrina, we just need to interrupt. The quality of your sound is not good. Is there any way you have a headset or something that you can use?
Yes. Give me one quick moment.
Okay, thank you.
In this episode, we're going to talk about PyTorch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So we're looking forward.
Better?
Not sure. Can you just talk?
A little bit better?
No, not better. There's no headset in your neighborhood?
Yes, there is. I'm super sorry about that.
Okay. So when we wait for Sabrina, let's talk. Do you have any experience with PyTorch?
No, not really. My colleagues have, but myself, PyTorch, not yet. I know it's a quite interesting framework to try out, and it's an easier way to try out specific algorithms.
Mm-hmm.
But more about it than that, no. I'm not the real data scientist in the company, so more.
No, me neither. So we're going to learn.
We are going to learn. Yes, yeah. I'm looking forward to know more about it.
Yeah. And afterwards, connecting with the community.
All right, let's try.
Oh, this sounds much better.
Much better. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, super sorry about that.
No problem. Can happen.
Teams has been kind of funny with me today, so I thought it was all, fixed. So
it's the end of the day for you, also.
Yeah, 10 p.m.
Exactly.
My brain and also my computer's ability to register sound is not optimal, but yeah. So
no worries. We hear you loud and clear at the moment, so that's good.
Fantastic.
Thanks for switching.
Shall we redo the introduction then?
Yes, please introduce yourself, Sabrina.
Okay, cool. Yes, my name is Sabrina. I am a PM in the AI frameworks team. I work on open source, and the two open source projects that I primarily work on is PyTorch as well as Onyx Runtime. And I used to be an MVP of AI, so I actually used to be in the community quite a bit. So excited to be here.
You were actually one of us. Yes.
I was one of us.
Once an MVP, always an MVP.
Yeah.
It's nice Sabrina, to be back in this community.
You are going to talk today about PyTorch, also about some Onyx?
Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about a tool called PyTorch Profiler.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a pretty cool open source tool.
All right. Well, we're looking forward and learn more. Both of us as well, me and Shoka, have not really a lot of knowledge about PyTorch, so we're looking forward to learn today.
We're going to pay good attention. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. All right, cool.
So
Well,
with that, we're
I
gonna
will
give you the
just jump
platform.
straight in.
Good
Sounds
luck.
All right, thank you. Awesome. I'll just jump straight in. Let me know if you can see my screen.
It's coming. Yes, there it is.
Okay, fantastic. All right, I'll just jump straight in. Okay. Like I mentioned, my name is Sabrina Smythe, PM at Microsoft, and I want you all to just imagine yourselves as being a performance engineer at a company. And let's just say that your company requires you, as a performance engineer, requires you to try to identify potential bottlenecks and potential scalability issues that may occur in your company's, machine learning system that's already in place. Okay. So typically, as a performance engineer, this is how you'll start. You'll begin your day by running your deep learning model and then capturing traces along the way. But in order for you to optimize your model, you'll first need to gather profiling results. You'll need to analyze those results. But the problem is that traces can be gigabytes and gigabytes of data, and processing them manually can be very, very time consuming and quite annoying. All right. So once you've identified the changes that you need to make to optimize your deep learning model, you'll need to run the model again, check the performance. And if the performance is good, then hooray, like awesome, your job is done. Go grab yourself a beer because you're done for the day. Otherwise, you'll have to start the process again. Go back to step one, recapture a trace, gather results, find out the reason for your bottlenecks, fix it, and try it all over again. And you'll basically need to do this an n number of times until your performance is satisfactory. So you can imagine how incredibly exhausting it is to be a performance engineer. But here at Microsoft, we actually partnered with other companies like Meta to bring performance engineers, data scientists, framework engineers, or anyone looking to optimize their PyTorch models, bring them a tool to optimize their model performance in a very magical way. And that tool is called PyTorch Profiler. So in this short session, I'll quickly go over what is PyTorch Profiler, what are the tools that are included in it with a little bit of a demo, and then how you can start leveraging this tool today. So here are the 5 main features that are available for PyTorch Profiler that can allow you to start diagnosing and figuring out what the bottlenecks are in your PyTorch model. And I'll quickly summarize each of them separately. So the first one is distributed training view. And this is a view that really helps you understand how much time and memory is being consumed in your distributed training job. So what I mean by that is that, oftentimes there's a lot of issues that occur when you take your trained model and try to split the load into different worker nodes to be run into parallel, because your goal is to speed up your model training. But sometimes diagnosing these things in parallel can be a black box, and a lot of data scientists and machine learning engineers would agree with this. And sometimes it's very hard to diagnose without a distributed training view like this that essentially allows you to debug issues within individual nodes, which a lot of tools don't do, and it's super helpful for debugging with distributed training. So the second tool that is available in PyTorch Profiler is something called memory view. And this is a view that allows you to understand your memory usage better. So you can imagine, if you've ever run any sort of machine learning workload, I'm pretty confident you've run into this very famously pesky out of memory error, which has happened to all of us. And trying to debug that sometimes is very annoying and not very obvious sometimes. So by having a memory view like this, it allows you to see all the active memory allocations at the various parts of your program run. So you'll be able to, debug that out of memory error or any sort of memory fragmentation or any memory leaks quite easily if you didn't have it at all. The third feature that is available in PyTorch Profiler is actually personally one of my favorites, and the tool that I use a lot because it's a tool that helps you make sure that your GPU is being fully utilized. And what I mean by that is your goal is with GPU utilization is to have 100% GPU utilization. And what that means is that you're using your hardware to its full extent and you're not leaving any performance on the table. A lot of machine learning workloads have an average of 23.1% GPU utilization, which basically means that out of the 100% functionality of a GPU, that the machine learning workloads only leveraging 23.1%, which basically means that you're leaving performance on the table, but you are paying for 100% of that GPU. So why are you not trying to maximize your GPU utilization? And that's what this tool is for, is to help you try to get to as close to 100% as possible. And there's a lot of automated recommendations and suggestions and ways of doing that. And I'll show you in a demo later in this presentation. And then another feature in PyTorch Profiler is this cloud storage support, which basically allows you to read profiling data from different cloud services like Azure Blob Storage, Amazon S3, Google Cloud Platform. So it's pretty technology agnostic in this way for reading profiling data. And then the last feature that I'd like to highlight in PyTorch Profiler is actually a pretty fun and cool feature. This feature is Visual Studio code related. So essentially this feature in PyTorch Profiler allows you to visualize your stack tracing information. And when you see a list of your stack tracing information, you'll be able to click on one of the stack traces, and the window and the view would jump directly into your source code to where that bug is. So you can imagine how helpful it is if you are trying to optimize and quickly iterate through your code based on your profiling results. So I'll show you a quick little demo of how that looks like. So this is PyTorch Profiler. And this is actually on Visual Studio Code. And you can see here that all these are the stack tracing information that you have on Visual Studio Code. And if I were to click on one of the stack traces, it would jump directly to line 63, which is basically the line of code that contributed to that stack trace. So imagine there was a bug there, and based on that profiling data, it directly, changed my view and told me and directed me into that line of code that contributed to that bug, which is incredibly helpful for trying to optimize and quickly iterate through your code. So that is the feature jump to source code. So now on to the PyTorch Profiler demo. I will change this view over here to, a quick little demo to illustrate how this looks like. So the first feature that I'll be showing you is memory view. And this is how PyTorch Profiler looks like, okay? So the first feature is memory view, which is a feature that allows you to understand your time and memory consumption that may have caused, performance bottlenecks like out of memory or, memory fragmentation. And you're actually, if you scroll down, you're able to see operators exactly by the name and which exact operator is contributing to the highest, consumption of time and memory. So you can actually really drill down and see, okay, well, what is contributing to this memory leak or fragmentation, or and you can also take a look at some of the trends that happen in a given range of events, and you could specify that, and you can see how your memory trend is going, and then take a look at, you know, what are the different operators that are, if you notice that there's something that's taking a long time, okay, which operator is it? How can we fix this? And then you can drill down and iterate through your code to really optimize for that. The second feature that I'd like to show you is the distributed training view. So like I'd mentioned, distributed training view helps you diagnose these distributed training jobs, because sometimes it's really difficult to do that without a view like this. So you can really observe your issues on individual nodes. So some things that can be helpful is you can take a look at different views like this communication and computation overview. There's all these different views, and you can actually go through each worker node and toggle between them and get some of the information on how many times it was called, like what was the data transfer time, you know, what's the latency. But also you can take a look at the some of these views that were generated for you. And, you know, some of the ways that you can draw some conclusions from it is there's different, you know, nodes here, and you can take a look at the overlapping time. One thing that you can draw from this, if you were to take a look at this, is, okay, well, I noticed that the overlapping time, the red portion, is significantly larger in 3 of these nodes than one of them. Okay, so what does that mean to me if I were to take a look at this? Two things come to mind is potentially there might be a straggler. This node might be a straggler, or maybe this worker's not getting enough work, which is causing you know, low GPU utilization or causing any sort of performance bottlenecks. So that's how you can, you know, interpret some of these and make actionable steps to really optimize. So the next feature that I'll be talking about is the GPU utilization, because sometimes performance issues are on the GPU level at each step rather than memory or distributed training. So this is where GPU utilization sort of comes in. So I want you guys to imagine that, let's just say, you know, as a performance engineer, you're running a ResNet 50 model with a batch size of 4. Okay, so this is what this run is. You can see your configuration, how many numbers of workers, what is your GPU type. You can also take a look at some of the GPU summary. And the 3 metrics that I want you guys to take a look at that are really important for GPU is this GPU utilization, which if you remember, I mentioned that your goal is to try to get to 100%. So for your ResNet 50 model batch size of 4, your GPU utilization is 24.7%, which is quite low. And then your SM efficiency, which gives you finer details on your GPU, is 22.9. And then your estimated achieved occupancy, which is more finer detail than SM efficiency. But for the sake of this demo, we'll just take a look at this GPU utilization. 24.7 is quite low. How can we increase that? And sometimes you might be either new to machine learning or you want quick actionable steps on how to improve that. And the way to do this is you could scroll down on this profiler view for GPU utilization and take a look at this portion that says performance recommendation. Okay, so this performance recommendation provides you automated sort of performance recommendations. So the profiler recognizes that, hey, your GPU utilization is low, right? 24.7 is nowhere near 100%. And then it provides you actionable steps on what to do to improve that. And it suggested that you could try to increase batch size to improve essentially your GPU utilization. So increasing batch size may affect the speed, blah, 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 and your model conversions, fine. And then Tensor Core was another consideration that we took, that it was provided in this performance recommendation. So I will actually go ahead and in the next run, I will take the suggestion of the performance recommender system here, and I will run this exact same model, but instead of batch size of 4, I will increase it as they suggested to batch size 32. And look at the GPU utilization. It jumped significantly. It was 24.7, I think, and it jumped to 85%, which is fantastic. It's great. It's a big improvement, but it's still not enough. So how can you continue to optimize this for GPU utilization? So one way that you can do that is you can actually go to a view called trace view, which kind of looks like this, and it gives you details of elements in the trace in 10 millisecond buckets. So you can see here, this is the GPU utilization, and you can kind of take a look at some of the trends, and you can observe some unusual dips or unusual spikes, and you can actually diagnose that in 10 millisecond buckets to really get to the bottom of this. So when I look at this at first sight, my eyes kind of glance over this area, and it makes me a little bit curious. There's an unusual dip in the GPU utilization. So what you can do is you can actually zoom in. So we can take a look at this in this 10 millisecond bucket. We have this record function that we've added in our code to be able to record the number of profiler steps that correspond to our training iteration. So it'll make it easier for us to take a look at this in this trace view. So you can, if you were to click on this area, you can see that our GPU utilization was actually 11%. If you click up here, our GPU utilization was 50%. So how did it get from 50 to 11? One thing you can look at is you can zoom in a little bit. Sorry. It just like froze. So yeah, so if your GPU utilization is low, that is just an opportunity for you to increase that and investigate a little bit further. So if you were to take a look at this SM efficiency, which is another metric for GPU, it gives you finer details of the GPU utilization. And you can also make a little bit of a, an observation to see that, look at this SM efficiency, there's a lot of sparsity and microgaps, and that could be possibly, some of the reasons for your GPU utilization being low. It could be your PyTorch code could be looping over some vector or data structure that should be done on a GPU instead. So that is a possibility. And if you were to, let's work. So that could be some of the contributing factor for GPU being low. So we'll actually go back to my presentation, just in respective time. Okay, so that's a little bit of to take a look at how this GPU utilization and memory view and all these tools in PyTorch Profiler, and how you can actually utilize that to diagnose some performance bottlenecks in your code. And really, to be able to use it and leverage it, it's 3 really simple steps. You'll first need to install the PyTorch Profiler and ensure that you have TensorBoard installed as well. And then once you've done that and imported it, you'll need to essentially wrap your code and set a context manager. So what that means is that you need to turn on and off the features that you want. So if you want to turn on, GPU utilization, that you'll do that in the context manager. You just need to tell the profiler what you want to be leveraging, memory view, what are some of the other views that you would like. We also have some integration with PyTorch Lightning. We also have some integrations with Kubeflow, and you can actually run your pipelines and then jump directly from TensorBoard to the profiler in the pipeline view, so you'll be able to iterate through and take a look at some of the profiling results from there. And we have a few pretty exciting items coming up, and quite a few more. And here are a few of the references that you can take a look at if you're interested to learn more about PyTorch Profiler and how to take advantage of some of the cool features and how to really optimize and make your PyTorch models perform better. So that is it for PyTorch Profiler.
Thank you very much, Sabrina.
Thank
Quite
you.
an interesting tool.
Yes.
I especially liked a lot how you could jump from the source code, well, not from the source code, but from the insights that you collected straight into the source code. That's quite powerful, and I can imagine it's very useful to data scientists to figure out where is actually the issue of where is a lot of memory consumption, and going straight into the part where in your code it's actually happening instead of trying to figure it out yourself. It's really nice.
Yeah, the goal is to really make things faster for data scientists and performance engineers and allow them to just iterate through. So
and as you showed us also, you really focused on the 5 most essential items of a project: the distribution, the memory, GPU, the storage, and then of course the source code on itself. So it seems like a really good tool. What I was wondering though, you were showing how it also generates some recommendations. Is this rule-based, or is it linked to also using AI to actually give you those recommendations?
Yeah, so for now, for the ones that for the recommendations that we have now, it is rule-based just because we're constantly increasing the number of recommendations that will be AI-based, hopefully in the future. But right now, the ones that we have optimized are rule-based. So if there's need for tensor core, there's certain triggers that would essentially have the system recommend it to you. So none of them right now would require anything beyond that for the recommendations that we have available now. So
it's a growing tool, so you never know, of course, in the future what's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but great question. Yeah.
So we have this works on PyTorch. Does this also work on other frameworks?
Yeah, so other frameworks have their own profilers. So TensorFlow has their own profiler, and they have the ability to do various things. But this also has integration with PyTorch Lightning. We actually added a view for PyTorch Lightning, so that's pretty helpful for to be able to leverage the profiler if you're using PyTorch Lightning already. But yeah, this is mainly PyTorch based.
Okay, cool.
I have no other questions.
Me neither. Let me quickly check if we got any questions at the moment from the public. Not at the moment. It's not, of course, an easy topic. It's quite advanced already, but I'm sure it's a lot of people found the session very interesting. Sabrina, thank you very much for your time. It's already evening also at your side, almost late evening. So I can only wish you good night and hope to see you another time again.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everybody. And hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of the sessions. I'm excited to have a look.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. And from here, we go to New Zealand and to Australia. And here we welcome Akansha and Anupama. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hey, folks.
Yeah,
thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, of course, it's evening for us here.
It's a better timing for you. What time is it for you, Anupama?
At 6:30 p.m. So really good timing for me.
Okay.
And for you, Akanksha?
Just gone 4:30. Not too shabby. It's grand.
Ah, okay. It's still
Wow.
afternoon for you.
Yeah.
The workday hasn't finished yet, or it's
No, it's still going.
Sunday?
I can see the messages coming through.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's start on the left side. Akanksha, who are you? What do you do on your daily basis?
Oh, what a question that I do not ever think about. Well, sorry. It's just every time I do this, it goes out the window. My name's Akanksha. I'm based in Melbourne at the moment. I am a Microsoft AI MVP, and I'm also a managing consultant at Altus Consulting, kind of working on data problems and trying to help out wherever I can, whether that's in the community or professionally in consulting.
Wow. And Anupama, can you introduce yourself as well?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Anupama from Wellington, New Zealand. And so I enjoy looking at data. So that's pretty much how I start telling about myself. So more or less like how can you get value out of the data? And that's what I work with my customers and whatever it takes, whether it's an API, whether it's AI, or whether it's a Power BI report, doesn't matter. So if I can find a way to get value out of data and showcase it to my customers, that's what I do. And I also do a bit of training. So I have 20 plus years of experience, right? So it's more around how do I share this experience with others. So I do trainings, I do community activities exactly for this particular reason.
Okay.
Okay, great.
How did you get in touch with the Global AI community?
I think it's Leela Itati. So she runs most of the AI groups in Auckland. So my community activities really kickstarted based on looking at others, what they are doing in their respective cities in New Zealand. So to be honest, like I was a bit like a introvert. Like I don't know, like can I able to pull it off running an event and things? So that doubt is always I used to have. But when I saw other community members in Auckland and in Christchurch and the other cities, they are running a lot of events and pulling it out easily. And I saw there is nothing happening in my city in Wellington. So I thought, okay, rather than waiting for someone else to start this initiative, why not I will give a try? And if it works out, it's fine. Otherwise, I learned something, right? So I'm not going to lose anything. So that's how it's all started.
Wow, that
And
sounds really great.
see how it goes now. So
Yeah.
Oh, really good. And we like the way I start telling people is I start the meetup with just only one person, which is me, and then the meetup grows like more than 500 people in a short span of time. So I also run the data management group, and we grew like close to like more than 1,000 members there. So I have both data and AI community running. Like I run the events in Wellington, both from that perspective.
that's really cool.
Yeah, really cool.
What about you, Akanksha? How did you get in touch with the Global AI community?
It's a great question because I was just trying to figure out when I did, as Anupama was just telling us about hers. I was like, how did I? And I'm pretty sure it was a few of the AI MVPs in Melbourne that did the boot camps before we went into lockdown. So very long time ago. And I think that was the first one I got to see. And I think I was presenting at that one. And it was a great vibe because I think everyone was kind of there, and it was a little bit of a different event because it was more hands-on and everyone was kind of really there for an interest, whereas a meetup is kind of like one presentation out of the way, done, whereas the bootcamp was kind of the whole day event, and it was a different vibe. And I was like, oh, this is new, this is interesting. And then we went into lockdown and that all went out the window in terms of in-person events, which were all day things. But in place of it, I think Global AI stepped up and started doing the, I think, what was it, the 30-hour on virtual tour that you did, like from left to right all across the world. And I got involved with that one. I remember doing a presentation, and I think, Sammy, were you on the one that I was doing? I think you were, you and Eva. And I remember seeing the two of you still doing like intros and hosting like 18 hours later on another session. And I was like, are you okay? Like, have you slept yet? Which was kind of, I think, where I reached out and I was like, hey, like for the next one, maybe if you need some help, like I'm happy to help out if I can, so people can get some sleep. But yeah, that's kind of how I got involved. And then since then have now actually started running some of the global boot camps and stuff out in Melbourne / Australia, because we're still virtual. But yeah, we're looking forward to hopefully now towards the end of the year getting back to in person.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
So, linked to that, you organized the bootcamp this year. Were you able to do it physical or was it virtual on your side, Kancha?
It's all virtual, but I think it's kind of that pull and push with the virtual, isn't it? Where we got to do it as a Australia-wide bootcamp, so we got to have speakers in from all over Australia, and it was kind of like, welcome everyone across wherever you are. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in Perth, which is really hard to get to from Melbourne or anywhere in the east. It's like a 4-hour journey. So in that context, it was great because we could involve new speakers and get like fresh, like first-time speakers involved from all over the place. And then the other end of it is hard to get people to sit and listen for 5 hours on a virtual kind of stream, whether it's on YouTube or wherever. So yeah, it was a mix of different bags of like pros and cons. But yeah, we're still virtual. I think Australia is kind of starting to open up now in terms of actually going back towards in-person things. So maybe towards the end of the year is the hope. I really hope very soon, but yeah.
Yes, and for you, Annapurna, how did you organize the bootcamp this year?
I think, again, it is virtual, as Akansha was mentioning, because pretty much New Zealand is in the same boat in terms of Omicron spread. And so we are just trying to avoid like having in-person events currently. And I think, I don't know whether Australia and New Zealand, we are almost getting things almost at the last, like both Delta as well as Omicron. So when it comes to boot camp, I think from the get-go, when the AI boot camp started, I think we started organizing it. As Akansha mentioned, like we used to have in-person events, and then like unfortunately with the last couple of years, we have gone back to the virtual events. But here you go, like we didn't give up, right? So we still hosting the events, and the vibe is still there, and that is the important thing here. In terms of the global AI bootcamp. As Akansha mentioned, we like those workshops where like people get some hands-on on how to do things. And even last year, like during virtual things, so we tried and helped to help people like how to do machine learning, or how do you incorporate like cognitive services inside your applications. So this time, for a change, given I'm also a Microsoft certified trainer, so I'm trying to promote the AI certifications. So one particular session, like I specifically looked into, is to have giving a visibility around some of the AI certifications that we have got, and how do we get like an exam prep session or something for the AI fundamentals, and also the AI 102 exam. So how do you incorporate AI solutions? So I'm really looking forward how well that particular session is going to be received.
Yes, me too. That is a form of enabling more engagement with your attendees. Yeah. So yeah.
That's right. So this is going to be like a exam prep session, but if there is quite an interest in the community, then probably we may just have like a workshop sessions, and so to get them to practice some of the labs, and so that they can feel confident before appearing the Microsoft certification exams.
It's actually a good idea to use that also as a session, as a community session, to help people get their certification.
Yeah.
That's
nice
right.
idea,
Yeah.
Annapurna.
Very good.
Now, both of you did it virtually. We know there's struggles, as you said, Kancha, people to stay online for, even if it's for 2 hours. How do you try to get the feedback from the audience or interaction with the audience? I'll go to you first,
I think
Kancha.
yeah, like it's not easy. And I mean, I don't even blame the audience, because I look at myself and I find it hard to join in live, or I'll just go back and listen to it later when I'm looking at a specific technology, and I can just go find that specific, which is great, right? In that context of global AI caters to everything, and we've got such a big backlog of all this content that people can go access at any time. But then that kind of isn't the greatest moralizing point for a new speaker, where they're like, obviously they're a little bit terrified of like a really big audience, but then when no one comes, it's also just as bad. So trying to find a midway in the middle of the two is tough. But I think what we've tried to do for the last one that we just had there in February, what we did was we limited the length of each talk. So we brought it down to just 20 minutes. Every single session was 20 minutes. It was just lightning in and out. And no session was kind of the same as any other one. So it covered as much of an AI stack breadth as we could. So I think we had about 8 sessions altogether. Everything was a little bit scattered around, a little bit different. There was kind of meet the new speakers in the middle of it, which wasn't a session. It was just, hey, there's new people getting into the community, see how they did it, or maybe you want to get involved as well. So yeah, breaking up the technical content with a little bit more of just, this is the community, that's why we're all here, let's connect on that basis. And then also just not dragging it out too long, I think was what we just got it down towards. The lightning stuff helps, I think.
Okay. And for you, Anupama?
I think I didn't look it to that extent of Akansha, because I've been saying like, oh, it's once a year, right? Come on, we can spend some time and learn about AI. And so I have still kept it like a 9 to 4 tight packed schedule for my AI bootcamp here. But one of the thing, as Akansha was mentioning, and being a virtual event, you have to keep your audience engaged. So we are planning to record all our sessions. Of course, it will be available for them to access at a later point, but we are focusing more around demo focused sessions rather than like taking through a PowerPoint slides for a 1 hour, which sometimes like people can lose interest in that. So most of the sessions that we have picked is all around demo focused. And of course, like I was just trying to do some demo related with Azure Percept, and trying to get Azure Percept in Australia and New Zealand was a nightmare, seriously. And so I have to literally place an order in US over the Christmas, like just after the Christmas break. And literally I had received them only today. So I'm so excited. Like first thing is get it assembled. And if I can show something curiously as a nice demo for the AI bootcamp, so that would be really good. So the way we have approached our AI bootcamp planning is picked sessions where it is going to be a demo packed session. So to keep the audience engaged. But I'm sorry, I think I have a full day session.
That sounds also as really good tips for next events. Even if it's not virtual, it still makes sense to, I think lightning talks are always interesting, and especially also demo-packed sessions.
I'm a bit jealous that you get your hands on an Azure Percept. We're still waiting for that in the Netherlands.
The pack is here. I haven't even unpacked it yet.
Oh,
So sorry whether I can see it or not. So it's in my hand. I haven't unpacked yet. So just arrived today.
a bit of a shame that you need to wait till after this session before you can unpack it, right?
Let's make
That's
it an
right.
unpacking
Like,
session.
yeah, if I have it before, like, I would have-
Unboxing.
You should make a
Yeah, I would
YouTube
have just
video
had a demo
unboxing the
itself.
Azure Percept.
Definitely, I will do that, because if I get some time during the Global AI Bootcamp, like lunchtime or something, I'll just showcase that video. So, and because the assembling some of these components itself is going to be a bit tricky thing, so my next couple of days is only allocated to do this.
Nice, nice. And I also heard that you are organizing community events together, right? Akansha, yeah?
Yeah, we did. I actually think it was the Global AI we did last year. I think it was
That's
July.
right.
We would have done it. And that was
Yeah.
Easily one of my favorite ones, because I think, the other thing was, I think we had 6 or 7 speakers, and they were all women speakers.
That's right.
There was, I think, it was such a good, like a real like shift the other way in terms of diversity, which is really cool to see. But that one was that was actually one of my favorite things to organize, because it was okay, sorry, let me take a step back. Organizing these events isn't all that hard. Like, I mean, everyone can do it. It doesn't take too much of an effort. It can be a little bit stressful when you're trying to pull together an agenda and trying to pull together speakers and making sure that they're turning up on time. And like, it's just stressful in that context of like, on the day it goes everything well and people are happy. But I think that genuinely was one of my favorite ones, because I think I reached out to like a few of the AI MVPs. I was like, hey, do we want to do this? And like literally by the end of that night, we'd kind of like half organized the whole thing. It was just so quick and boom. We're like, oh yeah, okay, we're all invested. let's get this going. It's definitely, I think, I don't know about you, and like one of my favorite ones that I've organized just because it was so straightforward.
No, I think I thoroughly enjoyed that one because it was just a half an hour session or something we had, and pretty much like we decided on, oh, okay, we can do this topic, we can do that topic, and we came up with an agenda pretty quickly. And also women power, right?
We're just on the ball, like 1, 2, 3, done.
Am I correct? That's the event where you also organized some quizzes?
Yes, we did do that. Yeah, that was kind of where we were trying out different things for that kind of audience engagement piece. And I think fair play to, I think it was yourself and Layla that created that quiz itself. It was a really good, interesting one too. And people actually got involved. And I think it was the Kazoo app, or I can't remember what it was called, but where you kind of start voting on it and things. So like, people got invested, and like there was gifts and stuff to give away. So we're really happy.
That's one thing we were looking at in terms of like how do we engage people. And so one of the thing I was planning to do is like, okay, so to have like a gift voucher or something to encourage people, because they are giving up their Saturday, right? So just something we can do it. So we are planning to do like a gift voucher, like for people attending the morning sessions and as well as the afternoon sessions. So that's in the cards. So if you haven't registered for the Global AI Bootcamp Wellington, please do that because you can win vouchers.
Ooh, that's nice. I think I'm going to register today. I'm a big fan of vouchers and prizes.
Then you get an Amazon card to buy something in Australia.
Yes, or I get the number one prize, the Azure Percept.
Oh,
yeah.
That was a mission for me to get it, so I'm not going to give it so easily.
Okay. Akansha, you already talked about diversity, that you had an event, women only, well, the speakers, let's say it like that. How do you handle something like that? Because we all know there's still more men in tech than women, but how do you get, for example, an event with only female speakers? How do you get diversity within your events?
Yeah, and like it's one of those things where, sorry, just for clarification, there was, I think, one male speaker at the New Zealand one. Everyone else was like female, but like, but I think it's an interesting thing, and if you go out there to find them, they exist. There are people who talk about AI, and we're available to go talk. And I definitely encourage, if you don't know people or if you don't necessarily know where to go, there are so many communities in each city in terms of women who code or women in AI. Reach out to those groups. You don't necessarily need to reach out to the members. You can reach out to the organizers and say, hey, we're organizing this and we'd love to have a more diverse speaking group. They will spread the word for you. This is, I mean, when I run Women Who Code here in Melbourne, when we get those kind of requests, it makes my day. I'm like, right, who is going up? Who wants to do it? It really does make such a big difference. And then the other thing, I think, from my perspective, I've started taking on a more of a sponsorship role, which is, I think, a nicer term for volunteering people to do stuff. So there's definitely people I kind of mentor on this. I'm like, hey, so this event's coming up and you're going to be a speaker and you're going to talk about whatever you're interested in right now. And it's kind of one of those push and pull things of they kind of want to do it, but also are like, that seems like it's so out of my reach, or I'm still in college. Why would someone want to listen to me? And those kind of things come up. So look, get involved in the mentorship areas and find people that you can mentor that you can then sponsor to go and do events like this. I'm getting to a stage where now there'd be an event that someone reaches out and be like, hey, do you want to do an event? And do you want to speak at this? And maybe I can. I've got a pipeline of other people that I can reach out to being like, hey, is anyone else open on this day that you can go forward and speak instead? So yeah, if you don't have your own community built out directly, reach out to the community that exists in whatever area you're based in. I can guarantee you it exists. You just need to go spend a bit of time finding it.
Thanks for the efforts you do. It's nice.
Yeah, and that is also my experience. Mentoring, guiding, and also being a role model really helps other females to take that step. Yeah.
And one thing I also learned from that is like, the point, I think Akansha hit the point correctly. So I just publicized via Sessionize asking like a call for speakers and things. And if you look at like mostly I got all the men speakers, but yeah, reaching out to these groups and just finding out like, okay, and then putting the event in there that will attract more of the women speakers. And I don't think the call for speakers is attracting much of the women speakers, to be honest.
No.
I mean, I struggled at times to even figure out what event is looking for speakers, like in general. And I'm fairly connected into the kind of different places people request for papers. And still there'll be ones I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was a conference. I would have loved to speak at that. And it's been closed for like 2 months. I'm like, oh, well, that was that. So you can only imagine when you're fairly new into the industry or I'm very well situated in the community, how are you going to find those kind of requests? It becomes very impossible.
So with other words, as an organizer, you need to put some effort in it. It's not something that
Yep.
just comes.
Yeah. Totally
Okay.
agree.
Yeah, that's a good point, Akansha. Even I struggle to find my events too. So I pretty much use Twitter a lot and my LinkedIn, the social media channels. Just keep checking them regularly. But as you said, we need to have some sort of central like portal where if a speaker like you or me, we identify an event and we submit for a call for speakers, then probably we can start saying, have you heard about this? So just a central portal or a team site or something that we can create to encourage and publicize these events for other speakers.
That's a very good idea. And maybe that is something that we can collaborate on in the upcoming year, which is,
That would be great.
yeah, to set something up on a global level and to collaborate and join forces on that, because we are all working on this. So let's collaborate. And that is a good bridge to the next question that I want to ask you. What are your plans for the upcoming year on community level? Annapuma, can you start?
Okay, so I was waiting for whether Akansha wants to go first. I think with virtual, it is going to be pretty interesting. So this year, mainly I'm looking at, as I said, certifications. So I'm going to give more importance to certifications and how do I encourage more like people to take up certifications, especially on the AI and data side, because I run both the user group. So I want to just encourage them. So depending on how it goes with the exam prep session, probably I'm going to have a survey at the end of the exam prep session to find out whether people will be interested to attend like exam boot camps. So this will be like a 1 day, or we can split that into like a couple of hours each week. And so then just encourage them to attend those boot camps to prepare them to get certified. So that's definitely in the radar. And I think last year there was a drive that was done, especially for women. So I had some feedback from the community saying, why there wasn't any men included in the certification prep training. So I think this time I'm going to make sure I include everyone, and but also like focus more on women to drive them to get into attend these events to get certified. So I think certification is going to be a big drive for this year for me, and to push a lot in the community in Wellington. And of course, like being a woman, I always would like to bring more women into the tech space as much as I can. So whatever I try to do, and as we discussed, it's all about mentoring. So I have mentored a couple of women who are now getting into they are in good roles, and they are also doing a lot of community activities like speaking in events, and also like being volunteers for certain events. So I want to just contribute a bit more in that space to increase more women presence in the community.
Wow. Very good plans.
A lot of things to keep your hands busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always going to be there, right? And I thoroughly enjoy doing this, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is really fun doing it, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Totally agree. Yeah.
And to be honest, like someone did that for me to bring me to organize events and stuff. So I think this is my time to contribute back to the community.
Yes, I have exactly the same experience. Yeah, totally agree on that. Yeah. Great.
And on your side, Akansha, what are your plans?
It's definitely nowhere near as thought out as Anupama says. I can give you that. But I think honestly, getting back into the in-person side of things, I know for myself, like I am a shell of who I used to be before lockdown. Like doing social stuff is impossible in my brain. Like if I go out one day a week, I'm like, oh my God, I need like 2 weeks to recover from this outing. But I'm sure it's the same for a lot of people across Melbourne. But what those in-person events did kind of foster was that kind of networking part of things, which has been missing for the last 2 years. We've tried our best. I mean, you can do what you can in virtual events. It's just not the same for those kind of things of, hey, I remember seeing you at a certain thing. Nice to see you again. Hi, hello, move on. But that lasts so much longer than a hello in a chat and a comment under a YouTube stream. It's just not the same thing. So I think for me, definitely trying to get back into an in-person kind of atmosphere for those kind of connections to be formed and for that mentoring part of, hey, there are definitely more like you out in the community. Come see. I swear there's definitely more, because again, with the virtual things, it's usually black screens or no screens at all that you can see, just talking into the void, or I don't even know, like the 4 screens I have in front of me, I'm just talking at them at the moment. So yeah, getting that kind of past part of the community back is probably going to be something I look forward to this year. In terms of the content and what will be the plan, I have absolutely no idea. That comes up as an event comes up for me. Like with that comes like, okay, this one, oh, this is a new fancy thing that I want to try and do. That'll be fun to talk about. And then we can start looking towards it. But hey, I like the certifications part of it. So maybe I'm just going to steal that from Anupama. I don't know.
It's nothing they like, yeah, it's just, the more we spread it across the community, it's well and good.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, maybe a totally different question, but how did the Global AI community support your events, for example? Let's
Oh my
start
God,
at
so much.
Kansha.
I can jump in. Like, I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, where organizing an event isn't necessarily too complicated or hard. That was with the caveat that you have the platform to do it on and you have a reach of people to get to, and you have the software to be able to kind of host people in and out of it, which is exactly what Global AI was able to do, right? Like organizing these events was nowhere near as stressful as it needed to be, mostly because the marketing tools were in place, the software to run the day, the event on the day was existing. All we had to do was just sign in and show up on the morning of it. So like when you look at those kind of things, it's kind of things we've taken for granted, I think, over the time that I've been doing all these events a little bit. But if I had to go do that all myself, or if I had to start marketing from scratch with no audience, that would be so destroyingly hard to do. As if it's not already hard enough to create all these things and be present while you do it, it would just add such a layer of kind of blockage, I guess, to get to organizing these things. So yeah, being able to provide the platforms, being able to provide the community which you can reach out to, whether for speakers or audiences, it all makes a really, really big difference. I think that's definitely a key part of it that Global AI has paid for me anyway.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
And for you, Anupama?
So first thing is, as the name mentions, it's a global presence. So I really like the keynote videos that I get from the community here. So you provide us like one thing I don't need to worry about is what is the first thing that I'm going to play when I start this event, and to get the participants enthusiastic, like there is a value here for attending this event and spending a day with us. So I really love those videos. So I have even kept some time and kept it ready for the keynote for the Global AI Bootcamp. And because a lot of our community members, they don't understand like this is an event that that happens across the world, right? Across different cities. So just giving them that visibility, and they get quite excited because it's not just we do only in New Zealand, but also across different countries. And of course, the point which Akansha mentioned around the tools, so and the marketing that we get through the community itself. So the word of mouth that we get out of this global AI community is a lot. To be honest, like some of the 72-hour one which you mentioned, Akansha, like some of the videos that was presented in there is still people are reaching out to me regarding those videos, and it was quite like nice to see like how much reach the speaker gets by presenting in those events. And I'm just going to share those experiences to motivate more speakers to say like, okay, participate in this one. This is not just an event or a small meetup that happens in Wellington. The the reach of that, what you will be getting in terms of sharing knowledge, is going to be across the world. So thanks for doing this, and of course keep doing those keynote videos. I really love them. And of course, thanks for all the hands-on labs that you are providing. So first thing is, it is really good and up to date. So I never had any issues in terms of practicing the hands-on labs or making the participants to do that. So we never had encountered any issue even last year when we did that. And we are planning to use those hands-on labs in a couple of our sessions in this year.
Wow, thanks a lot.
Can I just jump in for one other thing? Sorry. Like, I know we're on the other side of the world, and Australia and New Zealand with the time difference, but whenever I've needed something or tech support on any of the platforms, I'm sorry, Hank, like, and yourself, I mean, I'm just like, the three of yourselves, like, you're always just available, and it makes me so happy, because I'm like, even if something goes and blows itself up, someone will respond to me in like within the day, and that makes a huge difference. Like, I don't know when you sleep, but I'm very glad that you are available to us whenever we need the help.
We don't sleep
And
at
also,
all. No.
Thank everyone in the team.
yeah, and also
We
thanks
ha-
for the Azure passes, because that attracts a lot of participants to come for the boot camp, to be honest.
Oh, wow. Thanks a lot.
You don't see it, but behind the desk, it's full here with Red Bulls.
Yeah.
See, it makes sense.
Wow.
Well, thank you both for making time for us today. We're glad to have you on board for this session. We wish you all the best with your efforts you do for the local communities in New Zealand and in Australia. We're looking forward to everything you do for concerning knowledge sharing, diversity, and everything else. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And thanks a lot for providing us the opportunity to
You're
share our
welcome.
experiences.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Great, thank you.
So that was our session at Down Under with our community leaders Akansha and Anupama from New Zealand and Australia. In our next session, we're going to Africa, where we're going to talk with Zakia, who is from Mauritius, and Hassan, who's from Morocco. And we will also talk about Azure Search with Derek Leggenhoff, sorry, where we're talking about Azure Cognitive Search. So we're looking forward to see you also there. If not live, then of course you can always look at the recorded session afterwards. Thanks for joining us today, and I hope to see you next time.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.